Hello, beautiful, beautiful souls, and welcome back to Unapologetically Wild with me, Kadi Sonntag. Guys, look, just wanted to let you know, if you're watching me on YouTube, I'm wearing my merch today. I think this is the first podcast where I've worn, oh my gosh, English, worn my shirt with my name on it. And I'm so obsessed with it. Those who aren't watching the podcast, it is my white shirt with black Kadi Sonntag and pink KS. If you've seen any of my social media, you'll see that I created these incredible shirts with a beautiful girlfriend of mine who has a t-shirt creating station. I don't know what you call them, at her home. And it was so beautiful because she wanted to do this with me. So I grabbed some shirts and we had an afternoon together where we created these beautiful, beautiful shirts. And I'm so, so grateful for how they turned out and just for the experience of being able to do that with her and learn a new skill and actually spend the time with my beautiful, beautiful friend and be fully supported and held in all of that. And I'm so, so grateful. And that was a really random side note just to start the podcast, because why not? So today I want to talk into, and if you've been following me, you know I've just come back from an overseas trip. And I want to talk into how I manifested an overseas trip fully paid for, completely free, with spending money, and how absolutely wild that is. And how when we manifest and we speak things into existence, we don't always know how they're going to show up. And that's what I fucking love about the universe is we can speak things into existence and it hears the good and the bad and our thoughts. So all of that, remember, our internal world is always reflecting our external world. So if we believe it's going to happen and hold no attachment to it, it's going to show up somehow. And a lot of the times, not how our brain would have thought it would have worked out. So let me tell you a story. Back about a few months ago, I was filling out my security clearance for work and I was looking at all the places that I'd been over the last 10 years. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I have actually been to some really cool places. I've been on holidays and deployed and all the things. And I was like, but I haven't traveled much recently. So my last time that I traveled was to Nepal when I took long service leave. And I was like, it was such a magical trip. I honestly came back a totally new woman. It was wild. And this was before I even got into energetics or all the things. And I didn't realize, but I had so many guides on that trip and I had so much of an energetic upgrade. And yeah, it was just so magical. And I was just so in love and in awe of this incredible trip and the incredible people that I just met, all of the things, right? It was just magical. So I was like, wow, I really haven't been anywhere in a while. And I would love to go on all these amazing overseas trips because I'm watching all these beautiful people, beautiful friends going on these trips. And I'm like, oh, I would absolutely love that. And I looked at where I was, in life and financially and all the things. And I was like, at this point, it doesn't fully make sense. Even though I had some friends come in and be like, maybe we should go here or maybe we should go here. And I was like, yeah, no, didn't quite sit right in my body, right? So it wasn't like a full fuck yes. It was like, oh, I would love to go there. And though right now it doesn't quite feel right. Anyway, going along with my life and just allowing myself to be with whatever was showing up, totally forgot about wanting to go on an overseas trip, right? Didn't even think twice about it. And then all of a sudden, I get a message and it's like, we're doing this overseas trip for defense basketball and to, allow ourselves to, engage with the community and be with the beautiful people of Samoa and allow ourselves to, just go over there and immerse ourselves in the culture. And I was like, is this a joke? I was like, this is a free trip overseas to a beautiful country and all I have to do is say yes. And I was like, oh, fucking course, right? Of course I meant to go. And there was not a single moment. I put it up to my bosses. They were super excited and super happy for me. And they were like, this is a great way to end your career because I've played basketball ever since I've joined defense. And it has been such a big part of my life. And it was so beautiful that they honored that and they realized that this was a beautiful moment for me. Of 13 years, it'll be 13 and a half by the time I fully discharge and become a reservist. I'm on leave for a period of time. And it was just wild that this trip came through. And then even when they had to cull numbers, I was still on the manifest to go on this trip, right? A completely free overseas trip. I didn't have to do anything except show up. My flights were booked, everything, accommodation, all of it. All I had to do was show up. Wild, right? Wild. And I was like, of course, oh fucking course. And I was just like, how would I have ever in my brain have thought of that, right? Like I knew that overseas trips happened, sometimes they never really took the players unless, of course, there was a competition we were going to. And they did have a couple of those, but I never seemed to make any of those trips, whether it was to do with work, whether it was to do with other commitments, whether it was to do with, lots of different things. And this was just perfect, right? It was the most magical, amazing trip with incredible people. And this is such a gift when you have incredible people on a trip, because it means that you get to immerse yourself with beautiful, beautiful souls. And you also get to meet incredible people when you're over on these beautiful trips, because you get to meet the children and they're so happy and they're so alive. And you get to impart knowledge, which is such a gift, to be able to share what you know with people and to be able to receive the gifts that they have, right? One of their most beautiful gifts, and it was something that everyone sort of joked about when we first got there, was a thing called island time. Now, if you've ever been to Fiji and all of that would all go off island time. I don't know. I've never been to Fiji. That might be my next stop. It was so beautiful because to them, right, when you say we start work at 8, for some people they roll in at 8:30, for some people they roll in at 9. Now I can hear some of you literally through the screen being like, oh my God, what do you mean they don't show up at 8 o'clock? Or if you're military, 5 minutes before the 5 minutes, right? God forbid. And so that would stress you out. And I get it, right? And I was like, because I was there for the juiciness of all of it. And I was like, timings don't matter to me right now. I am literally also being taken everywhere. So I also don't have to think about that, which is so beautiful, right? You think about the feminine and the masculine and like having a fully fledged trip where you are literally taken everywhere you need to go at all the times you need to be there. And really all you need to do is make sure you're dressed at the right time, to do things on the court, and make sure you're ready to play, and make sure you're ready to, engage with the children. And, that's pretty much it. Even food's delivered to you like a beautiful goddess that I am, right? So it's like such a beautiful, beautiful thing. And some days were long, some days were hectic, right? There was a lot of moving from one thing to the next and a lot of like engagement, and we played volleyball with the police, and there were so many beautiful, beautiful moments where we got to interact and be with the Samoan people. And it was such a gift. Like the fact that the coaches that came with us gave them a coaching accreditation, and the refs that came with us gave them a reffing accreditation, so that now they are accredited to coach and ref basketball even, you know what I mean? Like through our accreditations in Australia. And also they have learnt so much that they can take it back to their communities and all the things that we provided them with, balls and all that, so they could take that to their community, so they could actually play with the ball. Because it was wild to see the different perspective of the fact that, their international rugby team plays with coconut, right? That's their ball. And they also use sticks for ladders if they don't have the equipment. And it's just wild to think that that happens, and wild also that if the boys have got something going on, they take the equipment and the girls don't get it, right? Wild. Anyway, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. I was gobsmacked when I got told that. But what they do is they make the best out of every situation, right? By using sticks, by using a coconut, by all the things. And they see the benefit of all of it. And they see the benefit of bodyweight sessions for strength and conditioning. And they see the benefit for, all of these things, right? And some of these players have gone and played in Australia and internationally. They come back to coach the home team, which is so, so beautiful. And even having to go pick the players up and bring them back to their parents so that they are able to play, so they have players. It's wild how our worlds are so different. And, we don't realize this until we travel, right? So this is a really big thing. And it's like so much of what we're ingrained in doing and what we think and what we feel and what we go through is very much in our own experience, right? So being brought up there in island time, that's super normal. And for us here, that would be like cause a lot of people tremendous anxiety. And that would not work, right? And though we get to take and be with all of these different things when we travel, we get to see other parts of the world, we get to see different perspectives, and we also get to open up our world to what else is out there and how lucky we are as Australians to have so much opportunity and to have so much ability to do all the things, right? And like even to be talking to you right now is wild. And that I get this opportunity, I am so grateful for it. And it's just such an amazing, amazing thing. And so they even, when they speak into it, would have allowed themselves to manifest certain things like us coming over to help them out and all of these beautiful things. And so I want you to really think about when you manifest or when you say things out into the universe or when you think certain things, how does it show up? Because it's never actually going to show up the way you think it's going to show up. It's always going to show up so differently. Like I thinking I wanted to go on an overseas trip, letting that go, did not expect it to manifest into a trip to Samoa that was completely paid for and where I got to spend it with incredible people and have such a fulfilling experience for my last full week of my time in army at work physically. And like, how wild is that? Just think there's probably so many things in your life that you have manifested that you may not have realized that you have said, or whether good or bad, and you actually haven't recognized and thanked the universe and been like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for this. I absolutely forgot about it. Didn't realize I'd spoken into existence. I am so grateful. And if it goes the other way, you're like, cool, you're listening. I'm getting what you're like, I'm giving you this and you're giving me what I want, even though it's actually technically not what I want. So it's like, cool, how do I get to step into this and be like, what do I actually want to bring into existence? What do I actually want to receive? And it's such a beautiful thing because when you allow yourself to receive it, it is absolutely wild, right? Like it is the most beautiful thing to receive the gift that you have asked for. And it's just such a blessing. And it is so beautiful how it can change your life completely. I believe that overseas trips really do change people's lives because it is such an honor to be in another world, to be in another culture, and to experience their culture, and then to bring back what you like about it. Do you know what I mean? To bring back those experiences and to talk about it and to allow other people to feel fulfilled by learning about other cultures. And it's such a beautiful piece where it gets to also show us what we get to manifest and what we could want in our lives, which I think is so, so important. And so think about it right now. What do you want to manifest into your life? I want you to speak something into existence right now. Something that you really, really want. I want you to allow yourself to speak it into existence. And it could be, I want to go overseas. It could be, I want to get a pool. It could be, I want to build a house. It could be, look, go on. You know what I mean? I want to have a baby. It could be all of these things, right? And that one's probably pretty specific, and you can be specific. But what I want you to think about is like the energy that it holds and what it makes you feel. And I want you to feel into that. And then I want you to be like, cool, I'm just going to let it go. And see how it shows up. Because it's actually wild, because that is 1,000 times better than what I would have ever imagined for myself. And that's what happens when you give things to the universe, is they're like, we're not just going to give you what you want. We're going to give you something that's 10 times better. Like, I could not have imagined it would have been a completely free trip where I got to go to some incredible, beautiful places. Like, when I came back, some of the girls were like, of my friends were like, have looked at that. I don't know if it's a watering hole. I forget what it's called, but it's like this beautiful trench where this water is clear as day, and you like climb down a ladder, and it's just wild. And they were like, I've wanted to go there forever. I literally got to go there. I got to go to these beautiful waterfalls. I got to just experience the country. Like, wild, right? Absolutely wild. So allow yourself to be with that and just let it come in however it looks. And then I want you to really think about how that's happened to you in the past. And I want you to really be grateful for the things that actually have come in that you've actually asked for. Just sit with it. Give yourself a moment. You can do it now, you can do it later, but just really sit with what you have brought into your life and allow yourself to fully be with all of that, right? Because it's so, so beautiful. So beautiful. Now, the second thing I want to talk about today is something that is a little bit on the other side. And anyone who has experienced grief will understand that it comes in waves and there's so many layers to grief. And I want to talk about it because I recently had my last day, which was yesterday in the Defence Force, right? Of working. Like, I'm on leave till I leave, which I've kind of already stated, but still, there you go. Yeah, and so it was a really emotional day. Not only the day, but I had 2 days at work and after coming back. And so it was just really emotional both days. And the reason for that is because I'm leaving beautiful people who I love. And don't get me wrong, I will stay in touch with them. They're not getting rid of me that easily. You're welcome. And it was a really big thing because I actually got to have a cake and it was so lovely. And people came to say goodbye to me, which was beautiful. And one of which um, literally was my PDI at Kapuka. So he was my physical training instructor and now he's seeing me leave. And he gave me the PT award. So he gave me a Snickers bar and I was fucking pumped because I was so hungry. I just wanted chocolate. And it was so beautiful to reflect on that, on the time where in that time he's been my supervisor as well. And we've got to, work together. And I think it's so beautiful because I also then had my boss right now who has been through my whole journey of my business, and Maddie, who, is my corporal, who has also been through the whole journey of my business and, my leadership as a sergeant and learning what that looked like. And I actually could not be more grateful for how much they've supported me and how much I've grown with them and yeah, how much they've grown in with it all too. And it's wild to be a part of people's journey, whether you're part of someone's journey for a lifetime, a lesson or a short time. That's not how the saying goes, but you know what I'm talking about. And it's just a really beautiful thing to reflect. And so the beautiful thing about grief is that you release. There's got to be a releasing phase, right? Where you're constantly, or maybe not constantly, but you're crying or you're, allowing yourself to release it out of your body. And it's a really beautiful and sad, and there's so many emotions, right? And it's wild because once you allow yourself to release all those emotions and you allow yourself to be with what you need to be with and you reflect, because reflecting can make you cry, right? When you think about it and you look at those beautiful people and, oh gosh, I cried. I was trying really hard not to cry and I did a few times. And they were like, we're going to see you. It's fine. It's fine. But they also were like, please cry if you need it. So I love that. I love how beautiful and holistic the support has been and how excited they are for my new journey. And nothing in life can beat that. Nothing. And it's just so beautiful. and so sad to not see their beautiful faces every day. And yeah, I just realized that my life is so full of love and support and so many people in my corner. And this is a huge step, and it's taken a lot of courage to make it. And it gets to have its own emotions and its roller coaster and its grief and its fear and it's like all of these deep, treasured, rooted emotions, right? Because a lot of the time we go through, if we don't release the anger, then we don't have the sadness, and then we don't allow ourselves to get to the deep rooted through the fear, through everything, like the deep, 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 deep part. And don't get me wrong, I'm still navigating that. But I want to talk about it because I don't think a lot of people talk about it when they discharge. And I'm not even fully out yet. I'm not even technically a reservist. But there is a big journey that happens when you leave. And there's lots of moments of this. Like there's been lots of moments of tears and, allowing myself to keep moving through the grief and not holding it up and bottling it inside. Although that's, a very good tactic a lot of people love. I mean, and I used to love it a lot, but now obviously being way more in touch with my body, I'm allowing it to release. And so the beautiful part to this is that I'm releasing and releasing and releasing. And of course, as the universe has it, because, you know, this is all divine, right? I'll give you a bit of backstory. My beautiful coach just had a baby and I'm so excited for her. And it's such a beautiful big moment. And so now I have this incredible male coach. And of course, he came in exactly when I am leaving. And so the beautiful thing about your own masculine and feminine is it allows you to, your masculine is like holding the river and your feminine is like the water inside. So it's like the flow, creativity, all the things. The masculine holds the space, right? And so we get to play with this in our own self and we get to experience it from the masculine of the male and the feminine of the female, right? So we get to also be honored in that and supported in that. And I've been so supported in the masculine through my boss, through these beautiful men that I have in my life. And that obviously is coming to an end. And I'm so grateful that I'm again supported by a masculine figure. And it was perfect, of course, because we've had some calls with him and I've like been leaning in as I've never had a male coach before. So this is a really new space for me. And today we did this beautiful releasing. And holy moly, right? It's wild because I woke up today and I was like, what do I do? And guys, I've been on leave before and I know like business, whatever, like there's so many things on my to-do list, right? So it's not really about a to-do list, but it's like, what do I do? This is my life now. And it's such a weird moment where you're like, oh, because he's like, I can feel you just being like, what do I do? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I have things to do. That's not what I'm saying. And I have lists and all the things, but I'm like, what do I do? Like, I'm no longer in the military. You know what I mean? And so it's like, this is my full life now. This is what I've chosen. And I'm like, whoa, that's wild. That is such a big thing. I've chosen to be fully unapologetically who I am even deeper because I'm moving away from something that doesn't serve me. And that's a whole nother piece when it comes to grief because this has been serving me for 13 years. And now I'm like, it doesn't serve me anymore. I'm choosing me in a different way. In a hectic, I've got this, I'm choosing me fully. And of course, for me, it was a big worthiness piece is my beautiful big piece I love working through. And it gets deeper and deeper and like being worthy enough to do this, being worthy enough to do all the things, right? And if you've ever had this feeling, you can relate. And a lot of times what happens is it stops, and it has in the past, a lot of times stopped me from doing things because of my worth. But it's this innate feeling in my body that is like, this is exactly what you're meant to be doing. Like, it's like someone's pulling me along, being like, come on, come on. And I just get to release in the process, right? The grief is just like, get to release, I get to release, I get to release the not worthy, I get to release it in all the different facets that it shows up. And it's been beautiful and also so much. And so I love that I have so many people that want to see me and do all the things. And I'm like, I love you. And right now, because I've just been on a massive trip with people, all I want to do is hermit away and just like work out what I'm doing. And so it was amazing because today I did the call and we had this beautiful breakthrough and this beautiful transformation. And then I got called to go and have a bath at midday, right? Because I don't normally have baths at midday. And I was like, okay, I'm going to have a bath at midday. This is happening. And I was like, okay, what's next? Put on some music. Was like, no, that's not right. Sat in the bath, did some journaling, put the book down. Was like, no, that's not right either. And he gave me a process, which is super simple, right? You're going to actually laugh. This breakthrough is wild for how simple this process is. And he'd given it to me a couple of days before when we could have been on a call. And it was literally breathing. You're going to be like, oh my God, Katie, that's no breakthrough moment. Wait for it. And I was like, okay. And also, it gave me another grief piece. So with grief, it's held up underneath here in our. So if you're watching me on YouTube, you can see. If not, it's up underneath our shoulder / where our breasts are, just like above that. So like in that area. And so if you massage that and you feel the blocks and you feel anything that's going on there, which you can do right now if you want, you actually get to feel what's happening. And it actually is a huge big releasing point for grief. So I was like, okay, I'm doing the thing. I'm massaging. I'm allowing myself to feel the blocks. I'm breathing through them. And holy moly, my body was like, whoa, this is a lot. It's so beautiful. Let's allow and do the thing. And then the second piece to it was, he's like, I want you to breathe into your rib cage and allow your chest to open, breathe into your rib cage and breathe into your stomach like you're pregnant. And I was like, okay. So it was wild. I started breathing, which you're going to be like, oh, Katie, you've actually been doing that your whole life. Yes, babe, I know. And not like this. It was like, this is a wild feeling, but it was literally like my body had not breathed before. Like it just hadn't breathed down into my like ribs. I mean, breathe into your ribs, like feel your ribs, like absolutely like, go crazy. And fully expand, because I hadn't really like been with them and let them fully expand, right? And I did that and I was like, it feels like I'm addicted to breathing. I was like, this is wild. So I just kept doing it because I was like, this feels fucking amazing. And it feels like I can breathe, like fully breathe. Like for so long, it's almost been like I've been holding my breath, or I've been constricted in my body in holding my breath, right? Or, breathing less, or not being able to breathe deep into my body. And I was like, how is this so wild? It is such a simple thing. And this is what I love about self-development, right? Because there's so many pieces and so many things that hit you at the right time. And then I love getting new tools. And it's so beautiful because he's introducing me to so many new things that I get to give my clients, and I'm fucking excited about, right? Because it's just the whole thing. And this may seem super simple, but it was actually wild. And what it did was it just opened me up. My whole body was like, wow, like I am ready. I feel so alive and I feel free. And I was like, and we'd also done a process before, which could have contributed. Also, though, I felt like this was just me giving myself the moment to rest, look after myself through allowing the grief, and also being with my breath and allowing myself to fully expand in the grief and in the feelings without making any of it wrong, without shaming or guilting or any of the things. And I just felt amazing. And it was wild. All it was breathing, right? And this was so beautiful because it meant that freedom comes in so many different ways for everyone, right? And we can feel all these different feelings whenever we, need to, really. But we also get to be with these feelings that are in our body, because our body holds the score. You know this. You've probably, or most of you, read the book. And it's like we get to keep venturing in our body and allowing ourselves to expand, to feel free, to actually see what's being held in there, to release to move forward, because all of this releasing is only going to make me more creative. All of this releasing is only going to allow me to be deeper into the healing and help women even deeper. And so that's what I love about all of these things is simple processes help with allowing you to be with what you need to be with at the time. These tools, these strategies, all the things is what I love teaching my clients and what I love to go deeper into. And I absolutely love breath work. So it's totally, he is all the things and he is a breathwork practitioner. But his transmission, and this is the thing, right? Right now you're getting a transmission from me. And so your life may change through this transmission, right? You may get new perspectives, may learn things, you may allow yourself to, receive codes from me. All of these beautiful things are happening without probably most of your knowledge. Or you may feel it, or you may resonate with it later, right? And it may pick up and be like, oh, now I know what she was talking about. So this is beautiful because I get to go even deeper. I get to allow myself to be held deeper, and I also get to feel freer. And this is another thing that was brought up even with a girlfriend of mine who left her job as well, was like, when you step away from the thing that is actually causing you stress, and it's going to cause everyone around you stress, and it's going to negatively impact on your health, and it's going to negatively impact on your mindset, and it's going to negatively impact on your soul connection and, with spirit, with the guides, all the things, because it's causing so much angst and it's like consuming you, and it can hurt relationships as well with friends, family, partners, because you can just be so consumed in it that that's all you talk about all the time. And I was the same. It was just like allowing myself to know that, yes, I would talk about self-development, I do all those things, and then I'd go back to work and I would just be sad. And I love the people there and I love taking lessons, but it wasn't serving me anymore. And so there's a point, right? There's a point where we get to where we're so frustrated with what's going on in our life, or we're so annoyed, and we have to make a decision. And this is where we get to make that decision. We get to be like, what is happening and what happens on the other side? And I'm not even fully through it. And I'm already telling you that I can breathe and I feel free. And I feel like my body is opening up and I'm allowing and accessing way more than I ever have before. All because I released something that was no longer serving me. This doesn't have to be a job either. This can be many things. But what I want to leave you with today is allow yourself to explore and be curious about the world, right? That's what I did last week. It opened me up. It allowed me to be curious. It gave me different perspectives. It showed me another way of life. On the flip side of that, like, I got to receive, well, it's not really the flip side, it's actually part of it. I also got to receive, I also got to be, looked after. And now I have chosen, and ever since I have chosen to leave the Defense Force, I've had so many beautiful job offers. I even got a job offer while I was in Samoa. Of course I did, right? Fucking wild one too. Very exciting. Probably going to take that up. But it doesn't affect anything. It's just a reserve job offer, which is amazing, right? Because every time I've said no, this is the other thing, to the distractions, it has meant that something has come in that's actually even better. Because I'm like, no, that doesn't work. No, that doesn't work. No, that doesn't work, which I've said no to plenty of job offers. And so this one's there. And though, if in a couple of months it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But if it does, amazing, right? More free travel overseas. And so this is the thing. What are you holding on to that is no longer serving you? Because I can tell you, the longer you hold on to it, the worse everything in your life is going to get, because we know everything touches everything. And if you let it go, your whole world will shift. Even if you have no idea what that looks like, right? Let's be real, there's a lot of parts of my life right now I have no idea what they're going to look like at all in the next few months. And guess what? I feel free today. And I breathe deeper and I'm activating more parts of my body and I'm finding parts of my body that were just not alive, and they are now. And that is what happens when you let go of the thing that you no longer, or is no longer serving you. So ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it worth the pain? Is it worth the stress? Is it worth the anxiety? What could happen if you let it go on the other side? Because trust me, your whole life will change, and always for the better. When you choose you and you allow yourself to no longer live in spaces or be in spaces or environments or with people or all the things, so many different ways this can manifest, that aren't serving you, and you start to choose you even deeper and you start to go after things that make you happy. So what is going to make you happy? I would love to know. If you'd love to share with me this beautiful, beautiful, maybe it's your big moment. Maybe it's like, oh my God, this has totally changed my life. I would love for you to share that. So either share it below in the comments. I would love if you want to hit me up on Instagram, if you want to hit me up on social media, Messenger, Facebook, all the things. Tell me what you got from this episode and how it's going to change your life, or when you do it, how it does change your life. Because I am so fucking excited for you and I know it's going to be amazing. So I love you. Have the most wonderful day and I can't wait to hear how it all goes.